Hi, my name is Mark Copoulos, and I'm a Philadelphia criminal defense and real estate lawyer. And today I would like to talk a little bit about the decision to waive your right to a jury trial. In Pennsylvania, any criminal defendant who is facing more than 6 months incarceration has a constitutional right to a jury trial. And the reasoning behind this is that nobody should be incarcerated for a significant period of time without being found guilty by a jury of their peers. Now, despite that, more than 80% of the cases in Philadelphia are resolved by way of a waiver trial. And what a waiver trial is it's when the defendant waives their right to a jury and allows a judge to hear the case sitting as the jury. And so a common question that defendants need to answer with the assistance of their attorney is, should I waive my right to a jury trial? And it depends on a number of factors. Generally speaking, the more serious the case, the more closely you should be looking at litigating a jury trial. And the reason for that is because there are a lot of additional advantages to litigating a jury trial that you don't have in a waiver trial. The first major advantage that you have in a jury trial that you don't have in a waiver trial is that in a jury trial, you have 12 jurors sitting, and all of them need to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that you've committed a crime. So if you get to the end of your trial and 11 of the jurors are convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed the crime, one juror is not sure, it is a hung jury and you are not convicted of that offense. On the other hand, if you proceed to a waiver trial and the judge is convinced that you're guilty, it is simply one judge sitting as the 12 jurors who's able to convict you in that case. So if it's a serious case, especially if it's a serious case, it may make sense to proceed to the jury so that you have that additional benefit of 12 jurors instead of one judge sitting on the bench. Another benefit of the jury trial is that a defendant and his lawyer can strike, in most cases, up to 7 potential jurors from sitting for any cause at all, with some exceptions. So if you're sitting there with your defense attorney and during jury selection you see a potential juror and you just don't have a good feeling about it, you can strike up to 7 jurors. If you're litigating a waiver trial, you don't get to strike your judge. So that is another benefit that you have of a jury trial. Finally, the third benefit that is really a major benefit of litigating a jury trial is that it's going to be a difficult, time-consuming process. And while this makes a jury trial more expensive, and while this is often a reason for why defense attorneys don't want to litigate jury trials, it can play to your advantage. And specifically, the way it plays to your advantage is oftentimes the judge and the district attorney do not want to litigate a jury trial. And so before the case begins, the judge may call the DA and the defense attorney into the back and say, look, is there a way we can resolve this? And there's a possibility that the DA may make a better offer if you have an aggressive defense attorney who is ready to litigate a jury trial than if it's a waiver trial, because the DA may not want the stress and the time of litigating a case for a week and a half or a week or however long the jury trial is going to take. So any time that you're trying to decide between proceeding by way of a waiver or jury, it's a very case-specific decision. There's a lot of times where it will make sense to litigate a waiver trial, and there's a lot of times, especially in the more serious cases, where it certainly makes sense to go forward by way of jury. If you have any questions about whether you think you should litigate your case by way of a waiver or jury, and you're looking for counsel, and you don't currently have counsel, please feel free to give me a call. My number is 267-535-9776. One final thing to consider is a lot of defense attorneys do not want to litigate jury trials because of the time and expense that it takes. It can completely destroy a defense attorney's schedule, and it can even affect their ability to represent other clients in other cases. So when you're looking for counsel, make sure that you have an attorney who's cleared his schedule, who's prepared and available and capable of litigating a jury trial. And you shouldn't simply select a waiver trial because your attorney's schedule is too busy to accommodate you or is too busy to litigate the full jury. So that's my opinion on the jury waiver question. It's a very case-specific issue, So if you have a trial and you're trying to decide which way to go, feel free to call my office to set up a consultation, and we would be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you for watching my blog.